talk a little bit about your character in Who Are You People, and a little bit about why you wanted to take this role?
Um, well, the truth is I took the role because they asked me and I'm a pushover. I really I really loved that Sarah, my character. So she's very conservative, she's very buttoned up, she's quite religious. She likes things just so. Even the way she dresses, she hasn't really gone with the time. She hasn't really adapted with the time. You sort of look at her and go, what decade are you in? But despite all of those qualities, that seeming rigidity, she's actually quite generous and flexible. She's deeply invested in Devin's character's redemption. And while she kind of makes him work for it every day, she is confident that he deserves a second chance, even though this horrible thing happened years ago. And then he sort of really shit the bed and didn't help himself going forward. She's like, listen, that doesn't have to be your only story. And then even as she's sort of suspicious of Alex, which is Emma Horvath's character, she comes to find great affection for her. And so in that very last scene when Alex is leaving and Sarah is saying goodbye, I'm not one of those actors, they go, cry, Yardley, cry. And I'm like, okay. And it just happens. I sort of have to get there. And so, but all I had to do was imagine never seeing Emma again. And I was deeply saddened by that. So on the page, I think Sarah could seem kind of two-dimensional, but it turned out she had a lot of layers, and I was really delighted to play her.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that as an actor, how you find the layers in a character that may at first seem to be one-dimensional. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Like, how do you approach a role like this, trying to find the complexity in a character?
I think for me, there has to be at least one aspect of the character that I relate to that feels familiar to me. And so for me, with Sarah, it was her willingness to give somebody a second chance, right? I believe in second chances for the most part, although I do also co host a true crime podcast. I've heard some terrible, terrible shit about people. And there are people who go like, you don't deserve a second chance. Get rid of that person. You're horrible. But also those people often don't have any remorse. And so that compounds the feeling of, we're done with you, which is horrible. It's a horrible thing to say. But by and large, I believe that if you are willing to take responsibility and make a change and be accountable, that deserves that deserves at least a conversation. And so I liked that about Sarah. I really, because I didn't grow up with religion, I'm not conservative in the ways that she is. I have a great wardrobe. I don't dress anything like she does. Um, I wouldn't wear my hair like
I
that.
can see it. It looks great.
You know, but I do understand her desire for order. I can really, really have to struggle against the control freak inside of me, the person who wants things just so, kind of so. It's just really a feeling like if everything is just so, I can be in control, which I think ultimately is an illusion, but it's a long held desire of mine. So I recognize all those things in her.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have a favorite scene from the film? It could be one that you're
Yes,
in or one that you're not in.
I loved I loved the last scene with Emma, where we're saying goodbye. I really loved that. I felt like there was great vulnerability on both of our parts, which I always appreciate. I think vulnerability is incredibly brave, and in the moment it feels very intimate. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is going to be shown to a million strangers. You don't think of it that way, but there's often a vulnerability hangover. So I can finish a day like that and go, oh shit, oh God, did I reveal too much? So there's a little bit of that. There's also a great scene with Emma in the kitchen where she's talking about how she doesn't believe in religion, and Sarah basically says, listen to me, I know that you're not like me, but how dare you be in my house and tell me that you think what I'm doing is absurd and that you think what I'm asking your father to do is absurd. How dare you? I love that scene. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
It's short, but boy, it's to the point.
Thanks for watching the You Interview channel. With over 3,000 original celebrity videos, we have one of the largest collections of celebrity interviews anywhere. So remember to like and comment on our videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more involved, you can become a member of the channel. Membership has its perks. You can see exclusive celebrity videos and get the opportunity to ask our celebrity guests questions. We can't wait to hear from you.